Hello and welcome to another episode of Plus C. On this episode, we invited a good friend of mine, Tshenolo Theresa Molapo, over to the farm. Tshenolo works for one of the most popular, if not the biggest, student recruitment agencies in South Africa, which deal with agricultural students. In this podcast, we find out from her what are the most common problems that students face on the farm, and we also find out what are the common problems that farmers face regarding students on the farms whilst doing their internships. With that said, let's go.
There are some students that would get to the farm and when they get hired, they work as general workers. They would get that 3.5. It's fine. It's better than staying at home. Because you know, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be here right now as a general worker. Exactly. You're working towards something. Have a vision. You understand? You're working towards something else. Like, I now listen, you know what?
All right. I think let's do this. Come on, Tshenolo. Who's Tshenolo? Like tell us about you. Where did you get a guy? What do you specialize in? I know that like you are in the piggery industry, or that is where your specialty lies. But just give people a bit of context. Yeah, just a tad. Don't go too deep. You don't need background. Yeah, just a tad from your agricultural career, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Tshenolo, middle name. I always have a problem with my middle name.
Why?
Because you know how people would like say, no, Theresa, right? And then I would get to the office and be like, no, it's Theresa. So
pronounce it properly.
Yeah, it is because like when I have to say it to people, I'm like, do I say Teresa or do I say Theresa? But yeah, that's my middle name, and my surname is Molapo. Yeah. And I went to high school in Randfontein.
An agricultural high school?
No.
Yeah, just a high school.
Yeah, it was just a high school. And after that, I took a gap year.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. So this one time I came across a UNISA prospector and I was looking. No. I wanted to be a doctor. Guys. Ow! I wanted to be a doctor and I knew that it wasn't going to work out because of my maths and science. And I also wanted to be a nurse because I was like, if I can't be there, I can.
At least I'm close.
You know? And that also didn't happen because, guys, when I say communication, it's something that you need in life. I failed a test in nursing school because of communication. And I realized that I needed to do better. Because I always take myself as a shy person, but I talk a lot. Yeah, so
from high school.
Yeah, from high school I've been a quiet person, like really, really quiet. But then when I'm with my friends, I'll be the loudest. I could get away with a lot of things because I like to laugh and smile all the time. And I get along with people because of that, I guess. So after that, I got hold of this prospector and I looked at my marks and I'm like, I can't do certain things, you know, but I could do law or I could do agriculture. And one time I went to the Val and my grandmother said to me, I have to go back to school, and because I did science in school, I have to do I think it was electrical engineering. I'm like, I failed science. I failed science. I can't do that. And I remember suggesting to her that I could do agriculture, and she was all about that. She was like, yeah, plus you're from Lesotho, and you know a lot about this. You know, like you can do that. And she wanted me to go to Glen Agricultural College.
Bloom.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, I'm not going back. No, no. And there was
want to move further away from the Free State.
You know. So there was this guy who actually, I think he went to Potch, and he was like, no, she should just go to Potch because they do mixed farming, and it would be good for her, right? I just thought, you know what, rather agriculture than law, because honestly, I wasn't all about studying. I felt like I was tired of studying. Little did I know.
Hooray!
I remember I applied in 2012. But it was already in March. And they sent me there. My mom was like,
who's that?
My mom said to me, you need to go to the school and apply. I didn't know where Potch was. I took a taxi and then I got there, and then I remember getting to the taxi ring, and I'm like, I need to go to the college. And then they're like, yeah, just get into that taxi and then we will drop you there. I remember I got to ARC first, and they're like, the college is on the other side.
Down there.
I got to the college, and I got there, and I got to the reception, and they're like, no, we already started, so you can't go, get in June because it's like a second semester there, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then they gave me an application. They're like, no, your points are fine. You can come back and drop the application in October, right? And I remember going to drop off my application, and you guys, they said to me, no, you need to go and see a physician first
to check whether you are fit.
I don't know Potch. I don't know Potch, and I had to go to the department. I found some really nice people there, and I asked that if they could take me to town, and so that I can go to the doctor. My mom had already gave me money. She gave me enough money to do whatever that I needed to do, and I got to the doctor and did whatever that I needed to do. I went back to the college, dropped the application. Before December, I got the letter, and then I was accepted, and then I went back to school, and then that was it. That's it. Yeah.
So and obviously you did the Potch thing.
Yeah.
Where did you do your practicals? What happened after the practical? It's audience guy, and
Okay, so remember when I told you that I failed a module, right? So I couldn't go to the farm with the rest of the students. So I went there first. I remember I was looking for a farm, and I'm like, I wanted to do piggery, you know, because at school then they did not have piggery. So I was exposed to poultry and beef and, you know, all those things. But then there were no pigs, and I wanted to do that. So I went to the department again, asked them if they could help me find a piggery farm that they know of and whatnot. And this guy was like, no, I know a farm in Pretoria that you can go to. It's a small farm, but yeah, it will be good for you. And this guy, when I tell you that, this guy was the nicest person ever, because
the guy that helped you, the Department of Agric, or the
farmer,
yeah,
right? Yes, they were nice as well. But the farm was really, really nice, because I remember when I got there, when I told him that I'm going to be there for like a year and 6 months. And then he's like, I did not expect this, because what he normally would get would be like the vet students that would come from the University of Pretoria.
How long do they do their practical?
Like, they would be like in and out. And I was there. And I was there to stay. I was there to stay, and I remember I got accommodation at the farm, and I was introduced to the workers. And the first thing that they made me do was help a pig give birth. It was really nice, but it was one time at the same time. But it was really nice. I really enjoyed it. The first day, I really enjoyed it.
So the first day, you were already thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, I came on a week whereby, like, I was working at the following unit, right? And so on that week, it was Labor Week. So and then they're like, since you're here, let's just introduce you to the things that we do.
Where the process begins.
Yeah. The name of the farm, it was called Hanop's Piggery.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I should say where it's in Attersville. That's what I can say. It's in Attersville. And yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
How long was you stay there?
I stayed there for like 1 year, 6 months. The 6 months was just for me.
You basically volunteered.
Yes. Except I was getting paid.
Yeah.
Right?
By whom?
By the
Sita or by
no, by the farmer.
Is it?
Dude, I did not get paid by the Sita.
So the first month, were you guys in an agreement that from the first month you're going to start getting paid, or was it a situation where your work ethic put you in a position where you are worthy of a stipend or a salary?
You know what I say? Like, this guy was really a good person.
Yeah.
I got there, I didn't negotiate anything. I just told him that I am here, I just need to work, and then that's it. And then he treated me like a worker, even though I was a student. And I worked my ass off, even though, like, I could be saying, no, I'm just here to do my practicals. But I knew then, because I still had like 6 months to complete before I could actually say that I'm doing my 3rd year. So it was more of I don't know if I should say due diligence, because I knew that the 6 months that I was working there, it would pay off of the days that I'm going to be skipping the following year because of short courses and all that, you know. Yeah, but it was only short courses because I don't remember missing a day at work. So I worked hard, and at the end of the month, I got paid, and I was very grateful for that.
Because let's just about most students, and I think we've touched on this off air or on air, I can't remember. Everyone expects a salary. Like, instead humble yourself, and that is why you have so many agricultural graduates, this is my personal opinion, who are unemployed. You know what I'm saying? Number one is, you didn't prove yourself worthy of getting a salary. That is number one. And even if you are span and you work really hard, when you come from college or you come from university, you have a diploma, you have a degree, you expect 5 figures. Like, you expect 15,000. Just because it was gay, like, you expect 15,000, or you expect to be a manager, you expect to be a supervisor. Like, I love how you say that you worked your ass off and you never skipped a day. And I think somewhere down the pipeline, the farmer was like, yeah, like, I really made a good investment by investing in a student, because she's here and she's doing.
Yeah.
So what is your take on that? Do we have a bad attitude, like, towards farmers? Do you walk in, kick down doors, and say, give me 10,000 because I have a degree?
It's a yes and no.
Yeah.
Ne? Because you're working hard, ne? And like, you're working really, really hard.
Yeah.
But then at that time, the farmer does not have the funds to hire you. Ne? There are some students that would get to the farm, and when they get hired, they work as general workers. They would get that 3.5. It's fine. It's better than staying at home, because you know, at the end of the day, ne, I'm not gonna be here right now as a general worker.
Your whole life.
Exactly. You're working towards something. Have a vision. You understand? You're working towards something else. Like I now listen. You know what? If I were to be employed at a farm and I'm getting a certain amount, and I'm not paying rent where I am, or I'm paying less rent where I'm staying, the money that and then there's no transport that you have to pay for and whatnot. That money that you're getting, you could do a lot of things. You understand? You will get where you want to be. You understand? And then there's those students that will be there and be like, I got a degree or I've got honors and I'm supposed to be. No.
Pay me this.
No.
I need to be in this position.
But
we'll touch on it again.
Yeah.
Just conclude, and I just want us to get to where you are now. Then, so you were there, you did your thing, you graduated, and then where are you now? What is happening now with Tshenolo?
Okay, so and then I graduated, and then I decided that I'm gonna do my BTech.
Yeah.
So I did my BTech at TUT. And
how was that? Complex?
Let's just say because I had a friend. Let's just say because of my friend, because I remember that year was actually the year that I finished my third year. It was a very rough year for me because my mom passed away, and I didn't know what I was going to do. Because I realized that I was relying a lot on my mom, and then from there I had to grow up, even though I was very much old. But I had to grow up and just
own the space fully now.
Yeah, exactly. And I graduated. It was not a good day as well, graduating. But then I was like, okay, I guess that diploma I did it for my mother, and to make her proud, even though she's not here, but I did that for her. And then
she's watching somewhere.
Exactly, And then I went to do my BTech and I'm like, this one I'm doing it for me.
It's a personal matter.
This one I'm doing it for me. And I did that, and my friend was there. She helped me through everything.
So you probably had guidance because your friend has walked that journey.
Yeah. And then there's another friend of mine that I need to thank, even though but he told me about where I'm working right now, and then he's like, no, you should apply there. When I was I think I was doing my second year or third year, I heard about this company, right? But I thought it's one of those companies that need A students or stuff like that,
That's like correct,
as
they say.
and I was not interested then when I was doing I was not interested. But afterwards I'm like, okay, let me apply. Let me apply. I applied, and I remember getting a call. I was at school, and then you need to come for interviews. Okay.
I got it.
Yeah, and I came for an interview. But when you come for an interview, there's a 50-50 chance I might get this, I might not get this.
But competition.
And I was so comfortable enough when I got to the interview and they asked me certain questions, and I'm like, I know that I did mixed agriculture, right? Mixed farming. But I specialized in this. This is how my interview went, guys. I was asked a question, and I'm like, I did mixed farming. I get that, right? But I specialized in this. This is what I know. As much as I did all those things in class, I probably forgot about them. But this I did,
you were hands-on.
Exactly.
You have experience
so I know I'm comfortable to answer any questions about this. And then they asked me the questions about piggery, and I nailed the question, and I elaborated even further, to show I know what I'm talking about. Exactly.
You legit know.
Yeah, and then they said to me, would you mind working at the office? And I'm like, man, that's one problem. I'm not gonna go to the farm. Seriously, this is what happened. I thought that day, I'm like, wow. Because they said, do you mind working at the office? And I'm like, no, not at all. Awesome. So as much as I was trying to convince myself that I didn't get that interview, I had already got it from that day when they asked me if I wanted to work at the office. Right? So yeah, and then from there they called me that my interview went well and came for induction, and I was working at that office, and then ever since.
Touching on you mentioned something in your interview, how you almost not dictated the interview, but you were as honest, because I think most graduates and students, we go into that phase, and especially now it's the beginning of the year, and so vice the CV, you get called for interviews or whatever now. I like what you said, that you were honest in the interview. You didn't pretend to be something or know some things that you don't.
Yeah.
You were quite frank that Evan, not this is Nakimo. I have general knowledge about everything, but Nakimo.
Yes.
I like that, and I think that is also something that people can take away. Like,
yes, be
honest, be frank, because once you commit and you answer certain things and you say that you have an understanding or knowledge, and then Bauhira Bare that thing, Saupola, that we asked you about, that you said you are computer literate. Now we excel. Okay? So I love that you were frank, and that is something that we need to adopt as students, because it can either close doors or open them really wide. Like, boom.
Exactly. But you learn.
Yeah.
You learn, because I always say, you know what, if I were to apply at a citrus farm, right? I know I did citrus in class. I know certain things about citrus.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna call me for an interview and say, tell me this and this and this and this, I'm gonna tell you all the things that I've learned in class. But like, I'm also gonna be honest to tell you that I know the theory part of it, right? And I would be glad if I could learn the practical part of it from here. If you can show me the ropes, and then I'm a quick learner. Show me the ropes and then I'll do it. You understand? That way people can get to, like, farmers, managers, they get to see, oh, okay, so they're open to learning, and they are interested.
It's not a no, she or he doesn't know everything. It's actually here to absorb as much as possible.
Yeah.
So Tshenolo, you applied, you got the job. Like, what is your job? Like, what is your daily job? What do you do?
I am an administrator. So what I'm doing on a daily basis is I'm either filing or dealing with students that are at the farms, students' problems that are okay at the farms, and just making sure that everything is smooth. Like, for an example, there are students that would get to the farm and then they'd be like, yo, I am so tired. I've been doing this and I've been doing that and I don't know where I got this, but I've got the patience in this world to listen to people's problems, right? And so they would be complaining. And because I'm a good person, I'm always laughing. Okay, I don't know how to make jokes, but like, I'm gonna be there for you. You understand? So that everything is, as much as it is hard for you that side, but you know that you can call me and say, yo, it's rough out here. And I'm like, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get past through that.
So with that said, you also, as much as you work like in the office, but you also hands-on when it comes to students, moral support.
Yeah.
So you are the link between the student, the farmer, and management at the agency. Like,
yeah.
You are that person. Like, you are in between.
Yes. I'm the middleman.
Yeah, you the middleman.
Yes.
Because I remember I deal with you a lot. Yeah, I deal with you like a lot. Because I remember there's sometimes where, the rotten potatoes get to the farm, like students that are just not willing. And before I can take any disciplinary action, I have to let you know that, Emma, I have to give you a heads up that I have a problem with such and so and so and so, this is why. And then eventually I have to do what needs to be done on the farm.
This is what I was saying to this other guy. There's a new guy who is, the farm is new with us now. He's a new client. So, and then he was saying, you know, like, students take advantage and then they do this and then they do that. As much as I'm on students' side most of the time, right? But like, I don't want you to take advantage when you get to the farm. You understand? That no, but then I'm a student from this company and they pay me and you're not gonna do anything to me. No, I'm gonna tell your manager to discipline you. I'm gonna tell your manager to, because at the end of the day it's their farm, you know. And if you don't do what they want you to do, I mean,
it's their issue to deal with.
They're in business, like.
Exactly. So you're not gonna get there and be like, no, but then you know I have to do my assignments and I have to do this and I have to do that. I mean, I get it. I get that you have to do your assignments.
But do you feel like, because the students that you guys place labapata alamas, through the CETAs and whatever, do you feel like students take advantage of the fact that they get a monthly stipend? That's why they can take advantage of I have to go to college, I have to go to university, I have to do this, meaning that they take unnecessary, because I deal with students like Koplas in the, these kids take like unnecessary leave. Like, Joe, if you were really serious about, for example, the assignment itself, why are you only absent from work come Friday or Monday? If you were really serious and I didn't into a span during the week, take off. But I know that because Lena Negrele student once a while of a Monday, Ochong, that Sunday was rough. Once a while of a Friday, Ochong, you are prepping to go somewhere.
Exactly.
For weekend. So do you think, because I personally believe that, because Lena, I have like most of my peers, either they did, not most, but some. By the internship, it's either we walk through the same journey where we got placed via agency and whatever not. On all about bankang advantage in J. Kakata ba or agrisita yam patala. You as the farmer can't tell me anything.
It is a problem that we are facing, because at the end of the day, as an agency, we can't take their stipend away from them. They know at the end of the month, my stipend.
And I think
no, you understand? But like I always say, you're ruining your chances of being,
because eventually it's going to come to an end, because contract is 6 months or 12 months.
12 months, yeah,
but
fail.
It will fail.
And then what? And then you're gonna come back to me and say, can you place me again? Because that happens, guys. That happens. You get your interns, the ones that are doing the experiential training, right? And then they would go to they would do the experience, and then they would do that, and then they come back.
Do that meaning mess up, take advantage, do stupid things, make mistakes.
Yeah. And then they come back and say, and then they like, now their internship is done, and then they come back and say, can we apply for a graduate placement, right? And then I'm like, yo,
how do I place you, Joe? Already this farmer had so many problems, Kawe, and I have to deal with you again.
Where do I place you? I mean, I understand, you can't stay at home. But then where do I place you? I don't trust you anymore that I can place you to a certain farm and be a good student. No, I can't. There's certain people, like interns that are doing 18 months experiential training, right, from the college. I feel for them. That, for Runa it was 12 months and then you're done. For them it's 18 months and like they still need that 6 months to finish, right? And they can't do that. And that means I have to like feel, you know what, I can place you. They remain good students. And then there's the 12-month students that I know that, they're gonna be at that farm and farmers are gonna be complaining about them, and yet you come back and say, please place me again as a graduate. Where do I place you?
You see, I think some people don't understand that, or don't necessarily have the foresight to see that what I'm doing now,
exactly,
it might come back to haunt me. So they just living. I'm still a student. I'm living my best life, and now I have a little bit of money in my pocket that I didn't have when I was still in college. I'm going to paint the town red tonight, and they don't realize.
Yeah, they don't think about that. It's for now, and then they're like, no, I'm doing this now, and I'm getting my stipend, and I can go to school, and I can do whatever that I want. And at the end of the day, I'm still I can do what I want at the farm. At the end of the day, I'm still gonna get my stipend because they know that we can't take that away from them.
Yeah.
But then you don't realize that you are ruining a relationship with
that
me.
You
exactly.
need
Exactly.
in your life.
Exactly. With me and with the farmer. You finish your internship and then you need a reference letter. Where are you gonna get it?
Yeah.
From me. What am I going to say about you? Like, what am I going to say about you? You understand?
No, that is
so it's things like that you don't think about when you get to the farm. As much as I'm a student right now, there's still
next year, the year thereafter.
Exactly. Build relationships so that if something were to happen, I can say, you know what, guys, like I need this, and then I can do it without hesitation.
So there's this letter, nah? It's Uncle Grootjes. And I don't want to say Grootjes because maybe it's not the opinion of Grootfontein as an institution.
Yeah.
But a pupil from Grootjes. And a few things that I want us to quickly chop up is Babuaka treatment, like the way students are being treated, Kodiplasi. And like they get unfair treatment, they're being treated as general workers in jail, they're not being geared to be or prepped or trained to become managers, supervisors or whatever not. Do you think that is really the case? Who's to blame there for such? Do we blame the farmer for not teaching the student vele how to be a supervisor, like managerial stuff, or do we blame the student for not taking initiative? If the student does take initiative and the farmer doesn't allow him or her to like really flow and do managerial stuff, like that dilemma, like
it goes both ways, but I'm gonna take this idea. When you're a student and then you did, most students that did management, they didn't do their practicals. They on the managerial side, and they want to know the bookkeeping.
Oh, especially students that did like economics, agricultural economics, agricultural management.
Exactly, yeah. Like when they get there, they're expecting to be working at the office. They're expecting to be learning about the management of the farm. Like, what is going on with the farm, But then, you know how farmers are. Like, they're not going to be showing you their books, I think it's the thing, you're probably going to take that and then
take it somewhere else. And it is private. Intellectual property plus,
exactly.
And it makes sense why farmers are shy
by
giving out actual figures.
Exactly. Because I remember when I was doing my practicals, I would do record keeping.
Yeah.
But it was more on the the mortality of the pigs and all those kind of things. But then when it comes to the money and
running the farm,
exactly, and I remember they got this guy who came to the farm, and he was the one who was like sort of like would be running the farm, and then I was like, okay, I get it. I don't want to be there because I honestly just want to learn about the production side, right? But then it would have been so nice if they said to me, would you want to like look? Because it was a small farm, it was a small farm because if someone was in like 2 houses, they didn't need me. You understand? They didn't need like the 3 of us in 2 houses, And it would have been so nice if the manager would say to me, this is how it looks like with the books, or how
this is the structure.
Exactly how or where we take our pigs, our porkiness to the slaughter, like I had to learn all those things by myself, and also comparing to the book. But then for me it was easy because I could always lie, right? But then for someone who did economics, or agricultural management, like really, like they would need to see everything. Some people are visual, like you need to see something in order to say, you know what, I like for me to run this, it cost me this and this, and for me to get a profit, and this and this and this, like all those things. So as much as it's unfair, and also it's not easy for farmers to like show you certain things, but like students also need to know, like don't give them straight figures, give them visuals. If I were to run a 900 hectares of this and this and this,
you would need this.
Exactly.
My personal experience is, and I was advising one of the students that I'm mentoring now, dude, you can't be a supervisor or supervisor in because you don't know the actual work.
Yeah.
Like you first need to do the actual job, respond it, do the production, understand it fully, and understand it to a level whereby you can implement preventative measures. Like you can pick up on small things that, Emma, direct ventilation is sharp, this is not right. So my point is, I was advising him and telling him that Cruella Tabaya being involved in a managerial role. First, understand what you're doing, understand the groundwork, and then you can move up to this level. Because just because Kaubane when say agricultural management, go varsity or college, wherever you did, Oscar expecta hore, how can I moplasi? You automatically become an assistant manager, you automatically become a supervisor. Because again, a supervisor in, how can you supervise someone if you don't know what that job entails, like thoroughly?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but then here's the thing, ne? Remember, the students have 12 months, right? They would get there and then be working at a production level, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll be learning about those things. And then the contract ends. And then they're gone. They only learned about that production, right?
Yeah.
If you're lucky, say, we place you at a certain farm, right? And then you get as an intern, right? And then say from there you go to being, they hire you at that farm, right? And then after hiring you, now because you were a student then, ne? Now you want to ask more questions. You want to learn more. Because I remember I had this student, it's a graduate, right? She was there as an intern, a graduate, working and doing everything, right? For the 12 months.
On
without,
the production.
Yeah, without asking questions, like without having to say, I want to do this and I want to do that, And you as a manager, you saw a potential, that's why you hired this student, right? So now that she is done with that, ne? With no asking questions, and now that she wants to learn, and now she's asking questions, and now you feel threatened, like you're shifting her to where they were and to where you want them to. Now it's like, okay, so exactly, because I remember she was saying I was fine for the whole year learning everything that I needed to learn here at the farm, and now they hired me, and then for like a month being here, I signed a contract, and then they said I needed to be here, right? And then I started asking questions, and this is what she said. She started asking questions and wanting to learn more, and like when you know something and then they say you should use this, and then you'd be like, but then we were using this and this, why now are we? And then now you feel like this person somehow.
So basically, and because I work with them, I get 100% what you say.
Yeah.
some managers or owners feel like this student is too smart for his or her own good.
Yeah.
Like, I said as the farmer, I said, you are responsible for, you are the headsman, or you are responsible for this particular section, production wise.
Yeah.
And you as a student feel like you can be more involved in a managerial role. And once you start asking such questions like you mentioned, the farmer might feel like, or the supervisor might feel like, Moto hape o ruteile.
Yeah.
If I give him or her the knowledge that I have, the managerial skills or the supervisory skills, that is even a word, that I have, and I am not educated, this person might take my job.
Yeah.
Like the manager or the owner might say that, Emana, when as the supervisor demote and we're employing the student.
Exactly.
And hence I agree with you, Hori. Some people, and it's not necessarily the owner of the farm. I think it has more to do with the people, like the manager,
Yeah.
the supervisors, the assistant managers. Those are the people that are threatened by students on the farm.
Like
My
it's like
personal
so you
experience.
think you know too much. Okay, so now I'm gonna remove you and put someone else.
Yeah.
You know, and then just like that, I don't want to be there anymore.
And
you understand?
I personally believe that is the biggest challenge with the students. Automatically, when you get into a farm and you're a student, you're hardworking, you are doing everything, fresh ideas, you are immediate threat to your superior. I don't care, regardless, white, black, green. Immediately, when you start doing that, you become an enemy to your superior. And I feel like that is where most of students, they don't get to balance or now I'm a threat to this guy. I'm supposed to act a certain way.
Let me indulge on that, or dig a bit deeper. Tabenye is kitaba yauri. Most students, and especially because these kids go from high school to college, from college into the workspace. Like there was nowhere where you actually had a little job. Like you've never been involved in corporate. You've never had a job, so you don't know. Corporate is totally different. Like the workspace is different. My advice is, or what worked for me, is I know who to impress. Koplasi. Like I have no business impressing the supervisor. If I want to be a supervisor, for example, or assistant manager, I don't impress the supervisors, I impress the owner. So when the owner is there, I make sure that I shine, I execute, so that the owner picks me up and says,
How do you shine?
I shine in a sense, let's say for an example, and it's not as if when the owner is not there, the farm owner is not there, I'm not working on a particular standard.
You're still doing that.
Should the owner come through on the farm, or the person, the influential person of the farm, should he or she come through, I ask questions. I skip my supervisor, but I go to the farmer and I'm like, Basti, thank you very much again for allowing me to come to your farm. I appreciate it a lot. I wanted to know, Hore, why are people not doing such? Like, I show the owner of the farm that, hold up, this person is very my English is about to run out now. This person is very inquisitive, like like what the owner wants from a manager or supervisor, I become that person. So I give him hints, or her hints, the owner of the farm, that I can actually do it. I'm inquisitive, I can take ownership. Like for example, in Tweki and saying, I get the impressa, one of the things that comes to mind now. I remember the manager was like, in the morning we had a meeting, and the manager was like, I need the food deep in housing, because we had to cut like 20 liters in half. But the thing there was, where you actually rinse off your boots, and then there's another dip, the actual disinfectant on first time. But because all the containers look alike, and you can't tell, Hori, in this one is water and that one is disinfectant. So I was like, no man, I'm going to cut it this way. Because now no one had a plan, Hori, how to on the workers, amongst the workers, and even the supervisor. No one had a plan already. Challenging yana eo, and it's simple, but the Roy solver because kaufela di blue, you can't see the difference. So I was like, no, yameti, let's cut it this way, and then disinfectant, let's leave it like that. And then tomorrow morning, I will announce to staff, kaufela and the staff meeting that, guys, no, yameti re katile so, and then. So that shows already, you as the owner.
By that time, was the owner there or?
The owner was there. I work with the manager. It's a humongous company, so you don't deal with the owner. I mean.
But the owner was there in that meeting?
The manager was there.
The manager was there.
And I wanted to be the assistant manager or a supervisor on that farm. So I impressed Barney. I impressed the manager. The guy that calls the shots. And I make sure that, because people take credit. Let's say you're a student and you do something nice, go spanning.
Yeah.
If the manager or the owner doesn't see that was your initiative, the supervisor is going to report it as if
he's going to
take all the credit. So hence know who to impress. I'm talking about things like that. Make sure that you take credit for all your work and the right person sees that this pan is out. Because at the end of the year, contractor ya fela. And the manager is the one who's going to decide, am I going to employ this person? Not the supervisor, not the assistant manager. The manager or the owner decides, calls those shots.
Okay, but then what happens if the manager is the person alone for you're asking questions? Like, you know, like you get to the farm, you've got your supervisors, you've got your assistant managers, and you've got those people, right? But then you're doing different things at the farm, right? And obviously, because you got the job because of that manager. Manager decided that they're going to hire you because you're good for the company, right? And then now you're starting to show, look,
Vele.
like
you're doing the job.
Exactly. You know, like it's like I've been quiet for the whole year, so that I can do the job, and so that you can see that I can do the job. That is why you hired me. So now that I'm asking questions to learn more, you know, because remember, I'm still a student at the end of the day. As much as I've done my practicals, but I'm still a student. I still want to learn certain things that I didn't get to learn then.
I guess
you understand?
To answer you in that sense is, again, understand how the workplace operates. Know your place. Like, I'm the assistant manager. I make sure that I make my manager feel like the manager. Like, I don't overstep my boundaries. And the same applies to many, because there's ways in asking stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can't just kick down the door of the manager and be like, how much profit did we make? Like, know how to ask, know when to ask, and know your place. Always, and that is of key importance, always know your place.
Yeah.
Make the manager feel like the manager, make the owner feel like the owner. And that is how you mitigate or minimize that thing, Yauri. People feel threatened by you.
Yeah.
Because, you're my manager. If you say jump, I jump. If I don't want to jump on that particular day for some reasons, I will humbly tell you that, listen, Usban Bani, today I'm not feeling well. Or the people are like, humble yourself and do things in an appropriate manner.
Yeah.
That is a skill that no one teaches you. And hopefully that I've highlighted, but it's very important, Yauri. That thin line.
Yeah.
That thin line.
Yeah.
Don't overstep. Don't be bossy.
Yeah.
Now that you are coming out of your little shell that you've been in, don't come out boom like fireworks.
Dude, it's been
come
3
out
years.
Crawling. Come out crawling.
It's been 3 years and I'm still crawling.
Oh. And sorry. The other thing. Do we still have time? The other thing is we also need to understand. That we visited last week when we went to buy the concentrates.
Yeah.
We think that little guy, I don't know, is it an assistant manager or supervisor?
Yeah, no, I think he's in supervisor.
He mentioned something profound and something, this kid deserves to be a manager. But I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. Yena is the manager. He was referring to one of the supervisors. I don't know if he's supervisor or assistant manager, but this kid deserves to go somewhere. He got an offer at another company, and he's actually going to manage that company. But what he mentioned was, this kid cannot become a manager more because I am here.
Exactly.
And I'm not going anywhere. And that is a fact. And that you need to understand, whether you like it or you don't like it, is going to depress you if you don't accept Hore. This person is the manager and is here to stay on Frosta.
Yeah.
So let's also understand that. Hore, you're not going to...
We can't be managers really.
So if you feel like you've learned enough, move on.
Yeah.
Go to another company, go look for greener pastures.
Yeah.
And don't try to insist and end up being depressed or mad that they're not making you a supervisor. But dude, already unali supervisor. And the supervisor is strong. So why should I change this supervisor ki employer when? You get what I'm saying? So those are things that
I what you're saying, I feel like I agree with you 50%. This, and especially in a workplace, we need to understand how there's always a replacement. Understand? You can be so good, you can replace the guy.
Yeah.
But bear in mind one thing: that guy has more access to the owner or to the boss than you. There's a fine line on how you will actually, and it goes down to what you said: know when to impress. You know what I mean?
And Mlande Joe, students, don't be shy. If the owner of the farm is there, small talk, even if you don't have anything to say that day, go talk to the guy about the weather. Like, yo, the sun is hot today. like Ntowi Buang, I'm just trying to emphasize, sorry. Of course, your supervisor has more access to the owner manager, but there's things that you can do to make the owner or the manager or the influential person to recognize you. Small talk, go there, small choco, talk about...
So just to move a bit out of the convo that we're speaking about now. Since Tshenolo, she's working with students from the varsity, from the college. What in my experience at the farm, what I noticed, it's students from the colleges. Because you spoke about at your college, you went to poultry, dairy. It was a norm at the college. Every morning you go there, then you go back to the class.
It's 60% practical and 40% theory.
Okay.
That is the logic of
that is what they say. But my point is there a difference between a student from college and a student from varsity? And I will give my input at the end. But what I'm asking you, because you're working with both, like what is your take when you get a student from the varsity? What is your take when you get a student from the college?
I think we spoke about this the last time. Students that are from the colleges, because they have a little bit of being out there,
being hands-on.
Yeah. They already know what to expect when they get to the farm. They're already in love with something. All I have to do is just place them so that they can do it. Because
exposure.
And then there's the students from the university whereby they are not used to doing their practicals. You understand? Like, they know, yes, there is, I could go to a farm and then I can do this and do that, And depending on how much you know about that, you can excel when you get there. You understand? And also it's going to be that thing, the workload is not too much. Because you're not used to...
Too much for who?
The student.
From the college or from...
The student from the university, when they get to the farm, the workload is too much for them. You understand? They feel like they're working hard. And then they have to focus on school at the same time. While students at the college, they had to focus on both. You understand?
For like 2 years.
Exactly. For some of us, we had to focus on both things. Like we had to wake up in the morning and go to do your practicals and then come back and go to class. You understand? So you're used to that. I have to go to class and then I have to do this. But then for students at the university, I feel like they it's go to class, you know,
Get class
every day, you know, and then when it comes to doing their practicals, it's something else. You understand? I'm not used to having to wake up this early to go and work hard, and then I come back tired, and then the body has to adjust to that.
And that is true.
But I'm supporting what you say, because I was a student by that time. Came 2 students from Limpopo, some university at Limpopo. Like, there was a huge difference between them and us. You would swear,
us meaning
the diploma and the degrees, the college and the university. There was a humongous difference between me, and by that time I was still a student. The guy finished his degree, was doing a postgrad thingy. He's never been to a farm. He has an agricultural degree. Dog, I remember when he was getting into a farm, he's like, Joe, because I get it, Joe. I was like, what? Oh, a degree.
I saw a skisu kenano. Because my student take a mentor, I have them on WhatsApp. So I was reading a status, or I was viewing a status here, one of the students, and also overseas university. Because when they got there to the farm, by Kenseka housing, vaccinating the birds. And on a status, she was like, yo, from 7 until 4:30, what job you handling birds? The only time that you get to rest is tea time and lunch. That is the only, and that is what status in Ebuaso. The only time that you get to rest is tea time and lunch, and it's so heartbreaking, and it's so what. Like, she was so depressed, katabaye. And so I support what you say.
For me, my point was I wanted to get this point across, and not to the students. Or if you're a student, you're listening to this. If I'm on my phone or something, I will tell you what we say now. If you want to be an actual farmer, in my case, regardless of only 7 distinctions or whatever, I don't know how many subjects they talk. I've been out of high school for so long. But I think it's 7 or something. Even if you got 7 distinctions, I would personally advise you go to a college. Afterwards, go do your whatever at the university.
Degree, master,
go into detail then. Dog, so what are the basics first? Because and there is of key importance, especially my Greek. I remember Ramana wana unku. Like, hey Joe, so
wow.
Then
and you have a degree. This is someone who has a degree.
I get to my oh, because dog, practical and theory,
2 different
same
things.
thing, but 2 different things.
Exactly.
Like, we wanna be in the book it says swollen head, whatever, but if you don't know a chicken with a swollen head,
you won't be able to identify.
And man, for me it's a message I would like to get to agricultural students or whatever. If you are in a Greek and you want to be a farmer, if you want to go and work, go department, go there, because with your degree you can immediately go to the department. But go with the diploma, you need to do your BTech first, and there's a reason for that. We at the college, we are the farmers. We are the actual farmers. Regardless of how much distinctions you got, if you want to be an actual farmer, chill and work, go to the college.
No, that is true.
It's an investment for you.
I've mentored like for the past 4 years, so I can tell. I know that, and factual things. I know that there's a clear distinction between someone from college and someone from varsity, because I've been mentoring students like for the past 4 years, and I've been a student myself, and I know there's a and workload. Go colleging, we are exposed. Go varsity is just theory, and they're not exposed to the actual job. And our point to conclude this is, or from my side, I would say that if your work ethic is not up to scratch, and like Basti said, and you want to be a farmer, if your work ethic is not up to scratch, I could care less whether you have a degree. And my mom, or not my mom, my aunt once, or not my aunt, someone once said, "Hore, Emma, a diploma gives you access, right? But your competence will determine how far you get. Like, how on a diploma and a degree, it gives you access to certain places, to certain positions, and you can apply. But your competence at the end of the day will determine whether you flourish or not."
Yeah.
Any last words from your side? Something that you would like to...
It's the same thing for me.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It is the same thing for me as well, because if you're not gonna work hard, ne, and show hore you are that person
You
that can
want
be,
to.
Exactly. You're still gonna say hore, no, but then at the end of the day I can get my own farm. But like,
how many people are queuing for that?
Exactly. You understand? So work hard. Work hard.
Tshenolo, thank you very much for your